podcast. It's been a minute since we've had a podcast. We've been tractor pulling and doing the videos on that, so we decided to come in this weekend, and happy 4th of July to everybody. I've been telling you on the Facebook page that a while back, oh man, I don't even know how long it's been, we were going to answer a bunch of questions. I had a whole bunch of questions sent in, and we were going to answer them for you, and we never did do that, so that's what we're going to do tonight. So I want to welcome Mike Evans here from Missouri, and Mike's been to a lot of pools, different pools other than our own. He's been pretty well everywhere to check it out, so kind of tell us about that.
Yeah, I go clear up north and way out west and way out east. Different clubs, different rules. I just have to work my tractors around to where I can pull in every club. It's a little bit hard, but I do it just because I like to.
A lot of fun traveling around. So we're going to get back into that too. So let's get into some of these questions and kind of knock some of them out. First question was, why can't different clubs keep their classes of tractors the same? Kind of based on that.
That's hard to do. Different clubs build their tractors to a higher horsepower than other clubs do. We have to work with them. The club here, they have several different classes for different horsepowers. Makes it easier to put your tractor in several different spots. Other places, this is where you're at, that's where you're going to pull.
And I know that a lot of guys come from the north, you know, and they say, well, what class I need to be in, you know, and we have to just kind of figure it out and go from there. And we're going to get into more of that about our numbering system and stuff later on that too. Okay, next question was, why does your club what does your club allow on weights? I currently pull at a club in northern Missouri. I know the scale was off and I couldn't weight up assembly or normally what I do. Now, I don't know if this is a garden tractor question or an antique question.
I think it's both. I mean, all of them are.
I know that antique sometime, you know, with the bigger tractors, we allow 30 pounds over, you know,
Yeah.
the deal. But with the garden tractors, it's pretty well dead nuts.
No, you have to be right on.
You have to be right on.
Yeah.
And it means we're talking about it for you guys that pulls with us watching this. We got brand new scales. We didn't get a brand new scales, but everything's new in it. We got a new console.
Yes.
And everything's new, and man, I mean, it is right dead on. So Tuesday, 4th of July, we'll pull over to Chitopa. You're going to weigh right on the money, and it ain't wrong. So,
Well, I've weighed other places and not even change my tractor, and then go to another place, and I'll be 50 pounds difference.
yeah.
I mean, it's just the scales.
Oh, yeah.
None of them's perfect. I mean, they're all different.
When we went to, where'd we go?
We went out to Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas. We was out there in Kansas, and I'd been losing a little weight this summer, you know, because I was getting up there, you know, and I went way down 120 pounds light. And I thought, man.
You didn't
You know?
lose that much weight, but
No, I didn't lose that much weight, but I was getting weight. The guy was giving me weight, you know, so that was kind of nice, you know. So another question. My husband and I was shopping for a garden tractor. Must be somebody new, wanting to get in the sport. What is your opinion that they start with? I mean, it just depends on what you can find.
what you can find and what you can afford.
Yeah.
Their most expensive is going to be tires.
Yeah.
Tires and wheels.
I started with a Sears Craftsman,
So did I.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
I think I had $350 in it.
yeah. I don't even think I bought my first one, I guess, in St. Louis. I get $600 for it, and I thought that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, okay, next question. Could you tell me what a 50 cuber is? I'm gonna let you answer that question.
Okay, it's not actually a 50 cube. It's a 50 and a half cubic inch. It's an aftermarket block, either a Jones 2, could be a woolen block. I think There's a couple more out there that everybody builds. It's just a big bore, single cylinder stroker motor. And they run anywhere, it could be anywhere from 90 horsepower to 145 horsepower, just depending on who builds them. It is very strong motor, very dangerous motor, very dangerous.
So there you go. You guys wanted to know what a 50 cubic was. I got several questions on that a while back, so there you have it.
Why? Why is it dangerous?
The RPMs it turns can be anywhere from 10,000 to 14,500. And anytime you get one that's turning that many RPM, they can come apart.
So I got no Wisconsin off of hay baler, stationary hay baler. That'd be a bad dude. It ain't very big.
A lot of torque, low horsepower.
Yep. Okay, next question. I have pulled on the Midwest sled a couple of times, and I can't understand why, and we get a lot of these questions. I mean, especially me in charge of I do the Facebook page, and I really appreciate your input out there on our Facebook page. It says, I can't understand why it will stop you in, oh wait a minute, let me go back here. I have pulled on the Midwest sled a couple of times, and I can't understand why it will stop you in most normal ways, and its pan is so little according to other sleds having larger pans. And then I think he wrote a cute little sled though. Okay, I asked Bernie about this, and we were talking about this the other day. Say for example, the sled we pulled on the other night at Mountain Valley.
Right.
The big pan.
The big pan.
The big
Sled.
pan, okay. So I knew I had this question, and I had to find it before this podcast, but Bernie said the bigger the pan, it's harder to stop because
There's more surface on the ground.
there's more surface on the ground.
Yes.
So that's why our sled works so much better. There's less surface on the ground when the weight goes down, so.
And I've pulled a lot of different sleds with my tractors. Some of them are hard to take off, but they're hard to take off, but it's hard for them to stop you. They couldn't even stop my green tractor on one sled. They tried. They was on the brakes and everything, and they just couldn't stop it.
Cade reworked that sled. Cade, if you're watching, you did a good job on that sled, that yellow sled.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, he's loosened it up and
It needed it, yes.
and did a good job. And actually, when the garden tractors took off, they lifted the front of it off.
Like Bernie's.
Yeah, like Vernon's, and got a good decent start. Okay, next. In your videos, watching from the heart, and I don't even know where this was, in the heart of garden tractor pulling America, why are there so many, oh, this is a good one for you. Why are there so many belt-driven tractors in your club?
That's a good question.
And I noticed that too, watching other videos. We got a lot of belt-driven tractors.
We do have a lot of belt-driven tractors. The area that we're in years ago, that's what they built for us for mowing with belt-driven tractors. Well, there's a lot of them around here. They're very cheap to build, very cheap to build. No aftermarket parts. They just say it's not there. The belts will hold up to around 80 horsepower. Not all of them. And some of them are they're just breaking.
And there ain't that many cubs around this area to buy. I mean,
No,
from the older days,
Nope.
there is hardly no cubs at all. We have a hard time finding them here.
No, I've been picking them up a long ways away.
Yeah.
And gathering them up, keep gathering them.
Right.
Because there's going to be a lot of people, they're going to be wanting to start, and I'll help them.
And I think that was another question. I don't think I wrote it down either, but we'll talk about it in a minute. Was people breaking rear ends in these cubs?
Oh, yes. All the time. It doesn't matter if it's a built rear end or not.
Let's just talk about what are they doing when they're breaking their rear ends?
They're twisting axles. About everything. All the gears in there, they'll break a gear off. They'll twist an axle completely off. I do it all the time.
So where do you go to get one?
Where do I go get?
You have one built, or,
Well, I build my own.
so,
It's easier for me to build my own. That way I know what's put in it and where my measurements are. That way it's easier. I can just push it and it just runs by itself.
Perry broke one the other night. He was pretty sad after that deal, so.
Well, they're expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Once you build one, I mean, there's $3,500 in the rear end. A built
Oh,
rear
yeah.
end.
Oh, yeah. Next one. Love your videos and thank you very much. I try to do the best I can, but the brains is sitting behind the camera, so thank her for it. Why not more variety? Need more smokers. And I guess, you know, some of them guys, that's all they do is go video tractor pulls. Well, I'm kind of involved in help and everything with our organization, so it's hard for me to run the camera. So that's why I don't go other places, because we're booked about every weekend, and I'd like to go and get a few. I try to, but I don't think you can video some of the smokers anymore than big ones. They got rights.
Yeah, they do have rights on.
Yeah.
You have to get the okay from the drivers for the tractor.
I know Lucas Oil Company's real.
Yeah, they have their own people that does it. They do that. I know what they're talking about, their smokers in the smaller ones. That is something that's not going to happen in this area. It just won't happen. That's a $4,500 engine, brand new, for a 3-cylinder. Just nobody has that kind of money around here. Maybe they do. They just won't.
No.
I'm not going to spend that kind of money. I mean, I've got a lot of money in my two tractors. And
Okay.
They're not smokers.
Why can't Midwest change some tire sizes like other clubs? Now, I had to think about that a minute, and I think I asked Bernie about that, and you know about that.
I know.
What they pull, what, 24s class or 23 class?
23-inch class.
Yeah.
That's just a preference on the club.
All ours is our maximum is, I think they can pull it in our class.
Absolutely.
But our maximum tire size is 26, 12, 12. So.
Yeah. Other places, they'll have a 23-inch class, 25 horsepower. But, you know, that's just something they made up.
I think last year we went to a pull, well, a couple of years ago, me and Bernie snuck off and went to a pull, and that's what class I had was, what were it, 23s or whatever it was.
Yeah, they do. A 23-inch class with up to 25 horsepower.
I think the only two tractors there were 26s was our garden tractors, so we kind of fell out of place. You know.
I don't ever fill out of places. Those places, they'll put me in a place where I belong.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I drove down to pull at Stillwater, Oklahoma, and I don't know, I just throw this in here because I got it on my phone. But I pulled down to Stillwater, Oklahoma, had a good pull, but didn't like the way it was run. Have you ever pulled on a no operator sled? And I had to think about that. You know.
You have.
I have.
So,
But a little different,
It
You know,
is.
You just don't, you know, you gotta be on your toes, you know, so. And that one guy, we was at a pole at one time, it wasn't our West boys, it was over east.
yeah.
And they had no operator sled, and that old boy was running, he looked like he was in a track meet or something, you know. It's pretty funny, so. How do you tell people to prepare a good track? And that's a good question. We pulled on some crappy tracks,
Bad tracks.
and we pulled on some damn good tracks. Boy, you should have been over there the other night in Mountain Valley, man. That was the best track we ever pulled on in a long time. He had disc it. Okay, so the secret of it is, kind of know a little bit about that. Go in there and disc it the day before. Disc it down about 3 inches, 2.5 inches or so, and water it. If it ain't gonna rain, you know, I mean, it ain't gonna rain the next day or whatever before the pull, but go in there and soak it. Put you some soap. I think it's we use 1 gallon of Dawn to 500 gallons.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what they were using them.
holds that moisture. And then go in there and after you disc it, water, and then pack it, and that moisture will hold in. So that's kind of what we do. If you're wondering how to do that, rocks, bad deal.
That Rob's, yeah, I got some tore up tires.
Supposed to be, Wayne will mention the name, but we're gonna be having a pull here for too long, and the track's supposed to be good. They brought some clay in, according to what I heard, so
That'd be good.
it might be a biter if it's clay.
That's
So,
okay.
Here's a good one. I always bring this up, and I'm always honest with everybody on this YouTube, but I'm just gonna say it. Your pool sucks. Somebody told us, and we're gonna get into some more of that too, but I just had to throw that out there. Your pools suck. It says weigh and throw an extra 100 pounds on before you hook on. Come on, man. I know what they're talking about. We've heard this 100 times.
No, we have.
We hadn't had a person on our scales, watching the scales. Our scales get set there.
Yeah.
It's kind of an honest system. And that's been the biggest complaint,
It has.
you know, and I don't know who's doing it. I mean, somebody came up to me after a pull and said, hey, you know, they was pissed, you know. Well, I don't blame them, you know, they got beat, you know, if he did have 100 pounds on, you know, whatever, you know, but we got a new scale man. We hired a scale man to watch the scales, so you'll weigh and then pull this year, so with the new scales, so I think that's we're going to clean that up, so I don't think we'll have a problem if you come pull with us. In the north, kids classes are the kids. Why do you pull kids with adults? Please explain why. Well, in our club, you know, I guess that's just the way it is. We have a
Well,
kids
it's because
class.
it's about the kids. If they want to pull again and again, there's no reason why they should not be able to.
That's
Whether
true.
it doesn't matter who
Yeah.
they're pulling against it.
As long
They'll
as
beat
they-
you. I've been beat.
Yeah, as long as they apply with the kids' rules.
Right.
So, and that's how we do it, you know, so.
Because it is about the kids.
Oh, yeah. I mean, without the kids, you know, we get old, it'd be done, you know,
Yeah.
so. And things has changed, you know, so. Okay, we got some more questions, but let's just kind of what we were talking about the other night on the phone when we were setting this up. Explain some of our Midwest rules. I know I made a mistake. If you're watching this, we're labeling tractors this year. The reason of that is, Bernie and I and Brian at the time, we talked about it last year, and we kind of put a number on. That way we know which tractors in class sitting on the scale or sitting on the sled, who's coming,
Yeah.
who's going. Our scale man will know. He don't know your name. He got your tractor number.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm trying to work the table this year, so I'm trying to put the tractor number with that. The difference between a stock tractor and super stock tractor is a stock tractor is governor up to what, 4,200,
4250.
4,250 RPMs, and we are checking RPMs. We've got two RPM guns. A stock tractor is original frame. It ain't been stretched, or it's original frame anyway. With regular wheelbase or regular stock wheelbase. A super stock tractor can have pulling gears, and but it can't be frame can't be stretched.
Right.
It's got to be original frame, original wheelbase. It can have pulling gears or overdrives. A super stock
And
tractor.
it can have cam. It can have an aftermarket cam.
Yeah, have an aftermarket cam.
Up to 18 horse block.
Yeah, 18 horse block. And I made a mistake, and I've got to apologize to him. I haven't called him, I kept forgetting. But we had a pull at, well, the one we got rained out.
Yeah.
When we was labeling tractors, our first pull. And I took the young man's, well, I took his, you know, he's brought him up there because they showed up the last minute. I was giving the numbers, and I've got to move him from the super stock back to the stock auger because his tractor's been cut and stretched, you know, so I apologize for that young man, and I'll get with him on that. So, anyway, what was we going to talk about? Alcohol? We added alcohol. We was talking about it earlier on the phone or something.
Yeah. On this,
We added alcohol to the super stocks,
to the 1050.
to the 1050s,
Sure.
yes, not the 950s,
Not the
the
950s.
1050s. And get me dumbfounded on camera here. I can't remember what we was talking about, what we was having a powwow about the last bull. I don't think it was, I think I just mentioned it.
Good afternoon. I want to welcome you to Happy Jack's Foods, home of Beyond the Dirt Pulling Podcast. Come and see us, try out our good food.
Yeah. Stock Alder is a tractor that's been altered, the frame's been altered, and you can go up to 27 horsepower. So that is like a stock tractor that's had the frame cut and stretched, or
You can have pulling gears.
having pulling gears, stuff like that. An open tractor is open tractor, 1,100 pound open tractor can have,
Up to 3 cylinders.
just bring it and pull it.
Yeah.
And hope you got enough power.
Yep.
So,
That I have. I have a open class tractor and I have a super stock and stock all tractor.
I'm going to explain the numbering system. Kind of said that a while ago. The only reason we did it is we can kind of keep track of the tractors. If I can't, off the top of my head, say a stock tractor is a 200 series, and we're in a stock class pulling, and somebody pulls in there at the 400 series, something's wrong, right? They're in the wrong class. So that's kind of, that's kind of where we're going. Now, we will probably kind of do the numbers at Carthage this year, but there's going to be a lot of people there that don't pull with us. So it's probably, they're paying us to come and bring the sled as their pull. So it's just going to kind of be like it is in the past. You're going to, you'll be fit in a class, and we'll go from there. So,
Most of them that's going to come and pull has pulled with you guys before.
yeah.
They already know, but and they can get on there and read the rules. If they put their tractor, it's built for their club. Well, it can fall into an area with your club, because I do it. I go pull with big boys. My tractor is an open class tractor, which is not an open class tractor.
Right.
So I don't have to pull it against a great big monster motor. It's an 18 horse block, but it's not. So, people just gonna have to read the rules.
Yeah.
They just need to read the rules.
Well, it's just like I said earlier, you come to Carthage, and you got a stock alder tractor trying to get in the kids class. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen, So, we'll be watching, and even if we have to move you out of that class or whatever. So, let's break for a commercial right quick, because I got to kill this fly that's bothering me.
Okay, while you're here in Columbus, Kansas, stop by the Happy Jack's Automotive Museum and Memorabilia, have a sandwich, and look at all the nice stuff we have here to see. Cars, trucks, signs, and just plain old stuff from back in the day. Everything from fuel pumps to advertising memorabilia and pictures of your local heroes. Come on down to Happy Jack's and enjoy.
Hey, welcome back, and again, thanks to Happy Jack's here in Columbus, Kansas for helping us out and letting me have the podcast in here and the Motorsports Museum. Right now, he's got a couple of cars sitting in here. It's pretty neat. Come by Columbus, Kansas. He's closed on Mondays and Sundays, so come by and get you a good sandwich. Some more questions. If I was to build an open class tractor for the Cricket Valley Club, and I tried to find that, I couldn't find the Cricket Valley Club, how big a motor do I start with? It depends on the Cricket Valley Club. I wonder where that's at.
I don't know. I've never heard of it, not yet, but I sure will now.
And it's amazing some of the questions I get.
Yeah.
And of course we're getting off the questions, but what gets me is now, and you've heard us talk about this before on the podcast, our Facebook page is called Midwest Pullers LLC.
Right.
All right? And I think a lot of people gets confused that that's a Facebook page for the Midwest Pullers.
No.
You got me?
Right. Yeah. I understand.
And man, I got a lot of requests from, we got a lot of followers from Wisconsin and Iowa.
Yeah.
And howdy out there, by the way. I know you guys watch this because I get some comments from you and some messages, but I think it's a great deal. But Midwest Pullers LLC is a sled located in southeast Kansas, and we go around and put pulls on. So
I can answer that, in a way. I don't know what their rules are. But in open class, I have an 18-horse block. It is bored and then bored some more.
yeah,
You can get 60 cubic inches out of that 18-horse block. I mean, it's 38 cubic inches you start out with. You can get 60 cubic inches out of it. Am I there? No. It costs too much money. And then your blocks, once you're done with it. You just throw it away. I don't never go that far because there's no need in it. I'm pushing 130 horsepower out of my 18-horse block. So you can build whatever you want with whatever you want. You just take a lot of money.
oh yeah. And I wish, I'm learning every day. Of course, yes, mechanic on the farm, tractors and stuff. But for building, for myself, being new at this, used to pull horses forever,
Yeah.
I got into this, about 4 years ago with Bernie, and it's a family deal. So I'm kind of dumb on some of these questions at times, so, and I'll admit it, I don't know.
Well, I've done engine work my whole life. That's all I've ever done.
Yep. Got your own mechanic
I
shop.
have my own shop. I build my own motors. It's just because I don't trust anybody else. If it's going to come apart, it's my fault.
It's on you, yeah.
Instead of spending
Exactly.
$17,000 for a twin cylinder
Right.
from Julian. Is mine close to that price? Yeah, pretty close. But just you put the extra in it. Not everybody can do that. It's very expensive. But you can go 60 cubic inches with a twin from an 18-horse block. I mean, you're talking 3.63 bore
Right.
with a stroke crank in it.
And if you're out there watching this video or watching this podcast, Cricket Valley Club, send me a message or comment or something on Tractor Pulling with GZ on Facebook or even Midwest Pullers.
Yeah, I'd like to know where.
And let us know where that club's at. We don't know if you're in Colorado, Wisconsin. We don't have a clue. So send us a feedback on that and tell us where you're at. The next question was, could I run an ATV tires in your club? Like to come pull with you? And you know where Mexico City, Missouri is?
Yeah, that's way out there, east of Springfield.
But yeah, there's people pull with, there's a
Well,
few
yeah.
of them pull with ATV tires.
Yeah, with us, yeah.
And I bought a tractor from that country when I first started, and it had ATV tires on
Yeah, they can.
You
I
know?
don't recommend it, but
it. Yeah,
they can.
because I've seen them plugs ripped off pretty good.
Yeah, I ripped several of them
Yeah.
out myself years ago.
Well, that motorcycle tractor,
Yeah.
what is it, Massey?
Yeah.
Isn't it? It had
It had
ATV tires on it, so.
Yeah, you can. You're more welcome to. They're not gonna perform like you want them to. And they cost the same amount.
And I've already responded on this on Facebook, but I got a question one time. Somebody must be at Richard. Richard, you know who you are. You're from
Yeah.
Iowa. It says, told that I need to move north and show Richard how to run a pull. So somebody got mad at you, Richard.
Yeah,
so-
they did. And a lot of them do get mad at him.
So,
he puts his voice in.
Oh, yeah, he puts his input in there several times, so. I never met him, just on Facebook, but I heard about him, the Hugs know him and stuff, so. Okay, how big a weight balance, and I didn't understand this.
I do.
Do I run on a 22 horse Kohler? Other pullers told me to run a steel pulley on front shaft to make more horsepower.
It's not more horsepower. It's more torque.
More torque.
More weight on the crankshaft gives you more torque. On that motor, it won't do no good.
On a 22 horse.
A stock 22 horse is just going to be a stock 22 horse. It doesn't matter what you do to it. they're still gonna have the same torque. Now on an old Kohler, single cylinder, you're going and if you want to do torque on them, you put a bunch of weight on one end of it.
Like it would work on 18 horse or something like that?
It will work on the twin cylinders. It just, those stock pistons just are stock pistons
Oh, okay, now I understand. They're taking it like a flywheel and putting it
on the other side.
on the other side.
More weight.
Okay, well, you'd have to have the thing plumb, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Or run.
yeah, they're set up. I mean, I don't run one.
I've seen them on there.
I don't need to run. I got enough horsepower. I don't need to run. We don't have the type of sled that will need that. The other clubs up north and out that way. Yeah, good idea.
Somebody was talking about the sled that was 11 the other night, said how
Well, it's
heavy,
heavy.
how heavy it was to get started,
So
so.
no, it's not. I didn't have no problem when I went to pull it again. I just pulled it again, and I didn't have no trouble.
Of course, that over there wasn't it kind of damp? I mean,
It was so spongy.
yeah.
Your front tires would sink down so far that your front weight bar would hit.
Oh, yeah, that makes a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
So,
Makes a
and,
big
it,
difference.
and it wasn't their fault. They're going to do it again this winter,
Mhm.
but they're doing it on their own. He said. His name's Michael Perry.
Mhm.
Um,
Seemed like a pretty good guy.
They're really good. They're really, really, really good people. I go pull with them a lot. They're going to do it again. They're going to do it all themselves this time.
And I want to go back to that too, because I want to talk about something that kind of me and you talked about, so, on something too, on that quote. Here's one from Kit Carson, Colorado. And I get a lot of comments from Colorado. They got that club out there in eastern Colorado. Could you set me up on the manufacturer that built your sled? And you know how many times we've heard that? We have heard that a bunch.
His name is Bernie Zook.
That's right, you know?
That's just,
And everybody seems to think that sled is manufactured.
no, it is.
You know, well, you know, he's been a welder all his life.
Yeah.
You know, and he's built stuff, designed stuff for a pipe shop, you know.
Forever.
Forever, that's all he's ever
Ever
did.
since I can, yeah, ever since I
And
can.
he's just good at what he does,
Yeah.
you know? So, but,
Oh, he'd build you one, probably, if you give him enough
yeah,
money.
you know, yeah, he might build you one, so. And if you want one built, I guess get a hold of me and we'll send you contact for him, so. This one's from Hasville, Colorado. It says, I watched your videos of track preparation. When you disc the track up, how deep do you go? Also look to be good track. So we talked about that a while ago. I had another question on there. Like I say, we disc it about 3 inches or whatever we can. Not deep, just about 3 inches or so, stir it up good, water, pack it down, let it set. So that's kind of what goes on there. Love the podcast. Great idea. I believe you're the only one with a tractor pulling podcast. I didn't know
I
that.
haven't seen it.
I don't watch it on YouTube.
We
You know?
see, we don't see podcasts, we just see videos.
Yeah.
That's all, so I'm there. We
But-
don't see anything about anybody
Anybody sitting and
talking
shooting
about it
videos, yeah.
or trying to help somebody in a different club.
I kind of got a kick out of that because I thought, man, that's kind of cool, you know, because I went through tractor pull stuff. I know there's a lot of podcasts on rodeos and different
Yeah.
things, race cars. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that, but yeah. We'll get into that here in a minute. What carbs is everybody running in your club? That's a good question.
Most of them are running just the stock carbs,
Yep.
except for me. I'm probably one of the only ones. I run McCooney carbs. I run dual carbs on both of my tractors. It's just a preference. Seems like some engines run better on certain carbs.
Yeah.
Stocking gives you better stock, stay with the stock carb.
What is that? 30 millimeter, or what is that?
And it's a number 30.
number 30.
Yeah. And then they have the one a little bit smaller one, number 26 for the stock ones, for the single cylinders. The twins, most of them was all a downdraft. It's better leaving alone.
Yeah, better just leave them alone.
Yeah. They'll perform just the way they're supposed to.
Overdrives, what's the best to get?
Depending on your horsepower.
Depends on your horsepower.
Horsepower, and because I'm running a 43% overdrive in one of them and a 23% in the other.
Yep.
So it really just depends on your horsepower.
And somebody was asking this too, and I forgot to write it down. Let's go back to the belt-driven tractors. What is it? A little pulley on the motor, big pulley, no, little pulley, big pulley.
You got a bigger, 6 1/4 inch on the rear, and normal is 4 inches on the front.
Yeah.
I had one built. I was running a 6 1/2 on the front and a 6 1/4 on the rear. Tractors can't handle it. They just can't. You see them.
Yeah.
I bust the rear end. I twist them axles in half. And those are big axles, and I twist them. But
So what are you running now? A 6?
No, I don't even have one. I have the one for my granddaughter. It's a 4 inch one on the front and a 6 1/4 stock one on the rear. But it's a stock 07 horse, so it ain't gonna bother you at all. But if everybody, you can run up to 80 horsepower. I did it. You start breaking stuff, and then you have to back off.
Who builds engines in your area? My man has gotten too expensive. And I don't know where that come from, but apparently it didn't come from around here.
Jeremy Hogan.
And I got a video on that too.
Yeah. Jeremy Hogan builds them. I can build them. I'd rather not build them for people. I just build my own. Just because everybody expects, you build your engine, they don't understand that you're doing aftermarket stuff. It's not going to stay together.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who builds it.
It's gonna fly apart.
It's going to fly apart.
Yeah, it's gonna fly apart.
Sooner or later. Hopefully a whole lot later.
All right, let's break for another commercial break. We'll be back.
While you're here at Happy Jack's enjoying the food, come on inside and check out the automotive memorabilia we have, and along with my new oil tanker. Come on by and see us.
Come back to Happy Jack's and try one of them the ribs or the tri-tip sandwiches, the best. Thanks again, Happy Jack's, for having us. All right, we got a couple more questions. It says, if I was running the show, it wouldn't be that dusty. Buy a water truck. And I really actually get these questions, and I guess, man, I have to laugh it off, I mean, my God, some of the stuff people send me, man, and keep it real, I mean, we're keeping it real on this channel, so send it to me. I don't care. I get a kick out of it. Get good entertainment.
Yeah.
Tell that John Deere guy to hurry up, or I'm turning this video off. They was probably watching one of my antique tractor videos,
And hurry up and get down that road.
put, and the guy's, he's waiting to see himself pull, Turn that crap off, You are all polluting the planet. Pull a gasoline tractor. They must be talking about a diesel or something. A diesel was pulling. All right, some of these other negative comments I've got. Lose the walker and the mask.
That was good. I mean, we all enjoyed that.
Uncle Bernie, he ain't coming back then because Uncle Bernie died in the fire. He died in the fire, so.
Yeah,
he
but
can't come
you
back.
got somebody up there at Medoc when you got down on the track.
It was for real.
Oh yeah, that was so awesome.
We had a good time. If a kid is pulling, oh, this is a good one. If a kid is pulling, let them drive. We can see you pushing the tractor. LOL, don't bend the steering wheel.
That's a good one.
Yeah. It says, my God, man, where are your helmets? You all ain't very smart. And we've talked about that, you know, I mean, depends on the club, you know, that's doing it, you know, so. I mean, we've been to pools other than our pools, and we had to wear helmets, so.
I carry my helmets everywhere I go because other clubs, they require helmets.
We went out west, we didn't have to have a helmet out there, you know, but, you know, it just depends on the club.
Yeah.
So. Living dangerously, no roll cages, and man, we've heard that a lot on the mini rods, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I had another one built, I might put one on, you know, so.
If I had to do it again, I would probably put one on my newer tractor, just because of the horsepower it has.
Well, you know, I was thinking about that, you know, and the roll cages and stuff. You know, that accident was on Facebook, you know.
Yeah.
That one road, you know.
Jeremy's grandpa, he's fell off his tractor twice. He's wearing, they wear helmets up there. With roll cage, I mean, yeah, it's gonna keep you inside that thing, for sure.
I remember an old boy, Gerard Fair, about when I first started pulling with you guys.
Yeah.
He come down the track and went off the, kind of the dirt pile on the
Yeah.
side. Just dove, made the pretty slow dive off of there though, but he dove off, didn't get hurt, but that's pretty cool to watch, you know. People, crowd loves it. That guy needs a rehook, fire the flag man. And I don't know what that was about, I never did, nobody ever said any more about it, you know, so.
Well, some of that will be that this club, we don't have first puller has the option to rehook. A lot of them do.
Yeah.
Not all of them do.
Yeah.
If we did that, we'd be there all night long.
That's true. And I don't know why I throw this in here, but I wrote it down because it was on my, we came in. Who's the chick standing in the way? She's hot.
I don't know which one that was.
One of you girls out there, one of you girls must be hot. Somebody thinks you're hot, you know, so. But anyway, let's get into something else here that I feel that we need to talk about. We already talked about food and the planet. I got a lot of questions. I got this YouTube channel, and we got the Midwest Pullers page,
Right.
you know, which is a sled, but a lot of people think that Midwest Pullers is a place you go to talk about pulls in the Midwest. And you've seen that on the video, you know, you've seen comments. I videoed Lebanon Pull. Drove over to Lebanon and videoed most of it and put it on my YouTube channel. And for some reason, you know, I got the Facebook page, do the Facebook page. I got personal messages. People was pissed about the way things went. An invitational pull. You know, they said it was an invitational pull. Well, what was it? Now this is, I mean, if you guys are watching this, we're just talking about it, but
Yeah.
what was it? 200 extra tractors showed up or something that wasn't invited, or?
No,
I don't know.
It didn't work like that.
Okay.
There was probably 30 extra tractors.
Okay.
It wasn't that they wasn't scheduled to be there.
Right.
It's just, they went ahead and took them in because they was trying to get extra people there.
Okay.
I don't own the sled. I didn't have any part of that. I did talk to them about it.
Yeah. But you were invited.
I was invited.
Yes.
Um,
I thought a whole bunch of people showed up that way.
It wasn't that you was invited. They had so many they could do. You don't have so much time to do it yet.
Right.
And so they tried to do as many as they could, thinking they could get it in that certain amount of time.
Right.
Which something else is going on like that too.
Yeah.
I know one that's getting ready to be like that.
Right.
We only have a certain amount of time. It wasn't that it was just invitational only. You just needed to get your
Right.
sheet
Right.
sent in to them.
Right.
Some of them may have already had it sent in. They didn't even get to come in before.
Yeah.
They got turned down. I mean,
But
it was just too many.
it was kind of a little different deal than our deal
Right.
was. But I just wanted to throw that out there, you know, and I'm not going to sound mean to nobody because I know a lot of you watch this channel, but if I ever take and do an invitational pull with our sled, if I do an invitational and I say it's an invitational, it's advertised as an invitational.
Right.
I'm gonna invite who I want
That's right.
and how many tractors I want. And if you show up to that pull, you didn't get invited, you can stay and watch.
Right.
But you're not gonna pull.
Right.
And I'm not being mean about it, you know, you've known me for a long time. I'm gonna be honest, you didn't get invited, and I ain't gonna let you pull.
They tried to let everybody pull that came there,
Yeah,
and they done a really good job at it.
yeah,
What happened there was not their fault.
Right.
They had no control.
yeah,
They were asked to come there
right,
with another place.
yeah,
Like
well,
I said, and he's gonna put on another one,
yeah,
because they feel so bad. I mean, she was crying,
yeah,
so I know how badly.
right. And, you know, I mean, I didn't know how to, you know, wanna say that, but I don't wanna say much on this video, but, you know, we're probably gonna make some guys mad that pulls with us, you know, and I think the word's kind of snuck out a little bit, but I don't think people wanna travel that far, you know, and,
No, they don't, they probably don't. I travel a long ways,
yeah.
a long ways.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of, you know, got people that like to travel.
Yeah.
But, you know, I just wanted to let, you know, people out, you know, from different towns, you know, or different far, they don't pull with us, you know. If you wasn't invited by me, you know, you're not gonna pull.
Right.
So I wanted to throw that out there, you know, so.
They was trying to make everybody happy. And it was an unfortunate thing for them.
I know I've been getting a lot of phone calls, you know, and you know, we got an hour and a half and that's it, you know, so. So anyway, just wanted to kind of throw that out there. You got anything else you want to talk about? Positive stuff? Any good stuff?
Oh, everything's positive with me. I'm just there to fool.
Yeah, I am too. Like I told you the other day, I'm easy to get along with. I'm a
I
happy
do.
guy.
I just get on my tractor.
Yeah, get on the tractor. I mean, that's what we're there for, to have fun, you know. But you know, I hate to say this, but you know, we've already talked about like these negative comments and stuff, you know. Oh my God, it gets, you know, sometimes a man can only take so much,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I got to that point a couple times.
You know, a guy can only take so much, you know, and you know, it just drives you nuts. I mean, it don't drive you nuts, you know, you gotta be, I tell everybody I worked for a handicap facility for years, so I've been trained, you know.
It's almost like you're.
But, you know, hey, Jesus tells us in the Bible, love your neighbor,
Yeah.
you know, so we try to
If
love
you
our
worry
neighbor.
about, if you would just worry about yourself more than you worried about somebody else,
That's right. You'd be better off.
you're much better off.
It tells you that in the Bible.
It does. I worry about myself,
That's right.
my family.
That's right. So,
Now, what somebody else is doing, I don't really care.
that's correct. So,
It's none of my business.
well, we got anything else to talk? Been a good podcast, I think. We've answered a lot of questions here, and hope everybody comes to the 4th of July. Chitopa, Kansas. We're going to start at 1 o'clock. Pull antiques at 9 o'clock in the morning. Miller, Missouri, Friday night.
Friday night, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, you know what we got to do, what we're going to do? We didn't realize it. Me and Bernie's got to go to Miller, Missouri, and be out late on Friday night.
You'll be there Friday night.
And then we got to come all the way back home, unload, hook onto the antique sled, go back to Golden City the next day.
Yes, you have
Don't
to.
call me on Sunday.
No. you
Don't call me on
arrested.
Sunday, or I'll be one of them people, them non-negative people. So,
Everybody's can be negative, they must
Oh.
be.
all right, well, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe and like. Oh, I want to talk about one other thing too, because people's gonna want to know. I know you guys like all the pulls videoed, and we're gonna try our best this year to do that. But I know there's gonna be some pulls that ain't gonna get videoed a lot. I mean, you might get some shorts, clips. It's kind of hard, you know, working the table and
Yeah.
doing all the work, and the wife can't always go, so I'll have what I can on there, and it might go live on Facebook. I did the other night,
The other night.
and it might go live on Facebook, but you'll have to go to my personal, it'd be on my personal page, because for some reason Tractor Pulling with GZ won't let me go live. I need to figure that out, but anyway.
They sure pulls it up there though. When you go live, it tells me immediately.
Oh, yeah. But had a lot of fun going live. I put old Mike Benning in a spot.
You did.
I like doing that. I just like doing that. He said, well, I don't know here what's going on, so. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here. We'll catch you next time and keep it between the lines.